real chairs.
Yes. We're not,
Happy about that.
we're not a speaker table.
Okay. I need to do a little closer in the middle, but.
Here we go.
Our live streaming and recording.
Okay. I have 7 o'clock on the dot. Welcome everyone, and thank you for coming. I will call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. And Kathleen, if you'd like to take a roll call of us.
Yes.
Pearson,
Present.
Gunner,
Present.
Present.
Joyce,
Here.
Natalie, here, and Bob Jones.
Yeah, I'm not part of the boards.
Oh, that's
I
right.
don't need to be part of them.
Okay.
Okay, next up, we got everybody. Chief will not be with us tonight. He has a family issue in Medford that he's working with right now. So the chief's report and the grant report for this evening will be pushed off until Thursday's meeting. So go ahead and cross off item number 6 for the chief's year in review. And Chief was also kind of a large driving force on item 7, but we will address it. We'll just so everybody's brought on board.
So can I
And
ask a question? You said Thursday.
What's Thursday?
I'm sorry, February.
February. Oh, thank goodness.
I'm sorry.
Just check. And what
It-
time is that?
Item 7 is our fill hydrant opportunity in the Cascade Gorge. Would you like would anybody out there in the audience like I have a few extras.
Here's a couple.
Here you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I usually pop a few extras. So yeah, if you're ever in here in the audience and you want an agenda, I usually knock a couple extras out just in case somebody wants them. Feel free to ask. So yeah, 7 we'll address, but not as in depth as we would like. And with that, go back up and approval of minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review November's minutes? Any issues?
No. I make a motion that we accept November's minutes. I'll second it.
Motioned and seconded. Vote.
Right?
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
Natalie? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, yes. Mhm. Yeah, we're the ones who made the motion, so yes.
Oh, all right. Yes.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, the minutes from November have been voted into the record. There was not a consent, or there was not a quorum in December, so no meeting took place. So no minutes for December need to be addressed. Are there any emergency additions to this agenda? Anything that we need to address right now for the good of the order and the safety of the community? Okay, I'm getting a lot of side to side head shaking, so no. Financial report result and the results of the audit. Mr. Jones, the floor is yours.
Okay, so for the month of December, we started the month with $453,868. That's because we finally received some grant money for the seismic project. We can talk about that later. So that's why that number's so big. But we had taxes, deposit LGIP, 3421. LGIP dividend was $1,554.70. We got a reimbursement Fire District 4 for just under $17,000. We got a couple donations for $835, and that $300 is just something we deposited. We took out money for volunteer bonuses, but we didn't need it all. So I just went back in, so we're at 476,924. On personnel costs there, those are double the norm, only because the ones for January went out in December. Just, it's like, she's always trying to find the best time to submit them.
And then-
And then,
And then the bank goes, oh, it's a holiday, so we'll just move it up a day. I'm like,
yeah, they moved it up.
"Oh."
Yeah. So, I could have hauled those off, but I wanted to make everything balanced. So, we have 2 in 1 month. Next month, probably have 0. So we'll see how it works out. Anyhow, that's that. As far as all the rest of the debits and credits, let's see, we got a big one there. Workout exercise equipment that was provided by a JCF grant. We got a grant for 25,000 on that, and so that's a partial expense to that grant. The rest of them are all small. A lot of are just CFRP grants, payroll costs, some office supplies, office equipment. So just miscellaneous. The volunteer recognition dinner was in December. So you can just kind of see those. If you got any questions, feel free. On the checks, we did our SDAO membership dues, payouts for the engineers and the construction on the final payments on the seismic project. So let's see, there's 5,000, 18,500, 131,000, and the last payment to school district for 333 or 3,333.
Mhm.
So, so the seismic project's done, and we've received the blessing by Oregon Biz. The grant's closed and everything, so we're good there. So our total disbursements are $205,720. So balance on hand, 271,000. Go to turn it over, second page. You'll see what our ending balance is. Ending balance is it's 428,956. Right there. I'm gonna double check that. I'm trying to think. Well, okay. Sometimes we have to transfer. We did transfer $180,000 out of LGIP into the checking account to pay those bills with. So that might be it. I'll have to double check this. But we had 406,000 in LGIP at the end. Regular checking almost 20,000, not quite. Some 2,330 in savings. We have a total of, so that's like 428,956. So that does match up above. And we have about 88,000, almost 89,000 in grant funds that will be dispersed. And then we have 4 months of unappropriated funds. So that's the 4 months, that we have to spend. We will spend August, September, October, November before the money starts. Taxes start paying. So any questions on the monthly? Okay. So the next thing is budget the actuals. So we're 6 months into the year, so we're halfway through. Most things are looking pretty good. Our interest in the LGIP account is already exceeded what we anticipated for the year. And if interest rates keep holding for a little while longer, we'll do well there. And let's see. Well, nothing really earth shattering. Of course, we got the double salary payment, personnel. We're right at 50% there because we had some that were less earlier in the year, the budget cycle. The rest of them were, 40, 35%. There's some things that we're over on. One of the things that under operations, we are already almost used up our budget for equipment repair, replace, and rental. But just so you know, we have 41,400 budgeted for operations. We've only spent 18,000. So that means like, as long as we stay within that in there, if we still need to do more repairs, we can do them, but it'll have to come out of something else.
What did you say we were at on that?
We're at 18,000 for operations for the year,
Oh, for the whole line item.
for the 6, yeah, for the 6.
Okay, got it. Sorry, I thought you were still
Yeah.
under equipment repair and I was seeing something else.
Yeah.
All right. I see.
Facilities on track. Um,
Fuel usage is kicking us in the head, isn't it?
yeah, it's actually not too bad because
Fuel or what am I looking at?
no, fuel is, we budgeted 10,000. We've used 43%, so
Oh.
$372.
So
Yeah,
is
the
it,
reason-
is it, what is?
So the,
Oh, building maintenance. I see it. Okay, I was looking at the 129%.
Yeah, sometimes when they're a small number, the percentage wise, it can jump up quite a bit.
I'm seeing that now.
See, there's like even the garbage. We've changed our garbage, and it's a small expense, but it's 129% already. Well, it's because we.
Gotcha. Okay, understand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So anyhow, let's see here. Insurance. So far, we've spent 9,000 for this year, and we're going to go probably over 22. So at the end of the year. Flipping it over, I don't see nothing really earth-shattering there. The thing that's earth-shattering is when you get down to the bottom where there's grant expense.
Right.
You'll see we're at 1.427 million, and that puts us so far this year at 1,507,000. So we are already into a full-on audit for next year.
So we've already triggered another audit.
Oh yeah, we knew it was going to happen. There's a lot of that seismic stuff carried over this year. We were hoping to get that 700,000 there at the beginning into the last year, but it didn't make it. So it's the way we knew we were going to probably exceed 1 million, but we're at 1.5 already. But in the red, this is a part that's the most important. We're about 80,000 for the 6 months, which is 60%. But a good portion of that is the extra payroll costs and so that's really where we're at. And of course, we had $180,000 in transfers from LGIP and the credit union payrolls.
Gotcha.
Any other questions? Okay, so far.
we're looking into a different propane supplier.
Oh yeah, so Lyle and I, there's a couple things we're going to do. We're going to look at buying our own tanks for the oxygen that they refill. We can buy those tanks for $320 a piece. Right now, we pay $154 a month rent.
Yeah.
So that's $1,800 a year. So we can spend $1,200. We'll save $600 the first year, and after that, we'll be saving a lot
What's the lifespan on those tanks?
forever. We just go in and change them every time. So
Oh, okay.
there's part of their system, but we buy it. We don't actually keep physically that tank the whole time. You exchange.
So it's like a propane exchange thing?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
Like Centrelink, if you do torch, you're a welder, they just go and change
Yeah.
the tanks unless they have ones that they want to keep.
Yeah, we should
So
get
we're
on
going to do
that.
that. That's going to save us. But then the propane, I've been Ed Staub is talked with them, and they're willing to just get us a commercial rate. Right now, we're paying $3.25 a gallon, and they're going to give us a commercial rate at like around 2.2. So that would be huge savings because we had about $6,000 in propane bills last year, last fiscal year. So we started at 1.98 and they just kept raising and raising and raising. We're with Suburban right now.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
we'll probably change. We're going to get rid of all get rid of all 3 tanks and get all tanks by them. And we're still going to rent them though, because it doesn't pay to buy those. They cost a lot. It would take about 30 years at least to amortize the $75 a year.
Yeah.
So those are 2 things that we're looking forward to doing to save some money.
Awesome. Good to hear.
Okay, anything else? All right.
Audit.
Okay, so the audit. So I've got 2 printed bound copies for the board to share. So if anybody wants to take this and read them, put them in your bathroom, whatever, you know.
I printed,
Yeah, and some people may have printed.
and believe it or not, Brett,
I have a printed copy here.
I read it on my, I've read it.
Okay.
I read it already.
So, just so you know, this is not an audit. We keep talking audit all the time. This is a new procedure that the state wanted to have done. And I'm pretty sure the CPA auditors pushed it. They probably had some lobby that pushed this thing. So what they do on this is they do what's called a compilation report, compilation report. So they look at our finances, they look and see if is the ending in cash balance is matching what we budgeted or not, and how does that come out? And they go through and look at that. They don't really track. They don't look at any kind of thing. They look to see if anybody's stealing money. They don't look to see if there's some errors in what's been entered or anything. They don't really check for that. It's not part of their job. And then the second part is to take that and then to look and see, it's called agreed upon procedures. So the state says you shall do this, this, and this, and this, and this. So in other words, you'll follow that. You know, you'll follow those rules, and then you have your own policies and procedures. You'll follow those. You'll do budgeting according to the state rules and all that. So they go through little by little and check to see if we've done that. We provided them all the information and backup. And so we don't really get too much in the way of, like saying, oh, you did good here, or you got this problem. The last time we did one of these, we had a financial review, and they actually said, here's some places where you're deficient. Okay. They were still pretty minor, but we pretty much met all the agreed upon procedures. You know, one thing that they had in there was that I gave them the policies, financial policies that we have. The last financial policies that we have are the ones that was approved that were from sisters. Remember when we adopted those 5 books or whatever they were? Well, the financial policies are part of that. We have, that's what was in place at the time, so that's what I provided them. And they said, well, it was kind of interesting because you had like different district names. Like there was a couple of places where they didn't get changed. And so they noticed that. And I said, yeah, I know, we got to go through that because they're way overkill for our district. What's in them. So we need to probably go through, edit those, get them down to what's reasonable for us. Because for instance, we have all the policies on purchasing and how you're going to do it, what the limits are, what's considered a capital expense, $5,000 or $25,000. Who can sign off? When do you have to bring motions to the board for different things? And they're probably way larger than we would because we probably never spend the kind of money they do. So that was some of the things but as far as everything else in the second part, we met all the parameters, and that's the second part, agreed upon procedures. You can go here and you can see they'll show you the dollar signs and the money. And that basically we're just meeting up. Everything was met, so we were looking pretty good. The one thing that we don't do that most government entities do is we would give you a set of bills and payments that are going to be paid, and you would approve those before we paid them. But I explained to him, I said, we're not going to wait a whole month to get bills paid. Sometimes we need to pay them before that. And so it's just going to delay the process if we have to wait and get them. If you're in most places, like when I worked at the Water Commission, they every 2 weeks they had a meeting and they could do that. It makes more sense. So that's some of the things. One more thing I'll say is in the numbers, in the population report, when you go through those and you start they'll show you the final budget. They'll show you the actuals. They'll say you it's favorable or unfavorable. Unfavorable if it's negative. And on the bottom line on every one of them, we were always favorable. We always had more money left over than we spent or that we budgeted for.
I saw that.
We were always in the good. There was one thing that they noticed that we started with a budget of 830,000, but we ended up with a final of 900 or 895,000, and that was because we got a $65,000 grant during that budget period. And we probably should have. I don't think we did a motion to accept that, and you always should accept those before you actually receive them and put them in.
So accept the grant and then add it into our budget.
Yeah, yeah. But you're supposed to do it. You're not allowed to do it after. You have to do it before you get the money. That's kind of hard to do sometimes. Sometimes
So the money just shows up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but that's a minor thing. It's a minor thing. I just wanted to point that out. There's some of the things that they go through. So you guys are welcome to read it. They said they'd come up and answer any questions. And if we had questions, if you guys have questions, we can always send them to them. But they were going to charge us money to come here, and I didn't think that was necessary yet. So,
Bob,
So-
you mentioned something at the beginning about that we use a cash basis, and
Yeah.
they said it should be something else.
well, what they said is that was an interesting thing. I didn't know this. Cash basis is not an approved thing for governmental entities. It doesn't. How do I want to say this? It's not acceptable by GAAP. What does GAAP stand for? I used to know.
Generally
accepted accounting.
Yeah. And so for government entities, cash basis isn't. You have to use accrual. And I don't want to use accrual. It's too complicated. Sometimes you got to have accounts receivable, accounts payable. You got to keep track of, when it gets debited and credited. And I'm not a CPA.
Ouch.
Cash is easy. Comes in, goes out. You see what comes in and what goes out. So yeah, that was the only thing is it's just not accepted by GAAP.
So Mike, I've caught a few of these notes here along the side when I was reading this over earlier. How badly did it hurt us that we had a snafu with our bank and that issue?
That was not in this. This is for 24-25
year.
That was in it.
That was in the year we're in right now, the fiscal year we're in now. So that's
So next year we have to worry about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know how that'll go.
I just noticed that they.
Depends on what happens from now and then.
Yeah, I noticed they mentioned it in here that we'd had a
Yeah.
issue.
Well, yeah, because they wanted some checks. They said, "Oh, you have all these voided checks. We need copies of them." And I looked them up, and they're like, none of them were voided. They were checks we wrote in the previous fiscal year. And I explained that to him, and I showed him what we had, but he wanted copies of them. And so what I had to tell him was, well, that account's been closed, and I don't know that I can actually go back and get copies of those now. I said maybe I could, but that account's totally closed, and so it would have been. I couldn't just go online and get copies of them.
So this is not an issue. This is a non-issue.
No, it wasn't an issue.
Okay.
He just wanted to know that. And then there was a couple there was something else on this. Well, here's the checks. Here's what they've been written for, and here's something else.
Okay.
So they did do some checking like that, so that was good because it had something to do with maybe.
Yeah, I read all the disclaimers on here.
Oh yeah, the disclaimers are just like going for pages.
It's like, why are we bothering?
Yeah.
We're not really checking you guys that closely. We're just checking your practices.
Right.
And
Just what the state requires.
okay.
Yeah. But with the full-on audit, that'll be a whole different ballgame. That'll be a lot more work and a lot more. They'll be following things through, and then we really check it.
Okay.
But do you guys have any more questions on the audit?
You answered mine.
So I just got this email they sent out, and this is for all the delinquent filers for audits and reviews and agreed upon procedures, whatever.
We're not on there, are we?
And no, we're not on there. But I just want to see these highlighted yellow ones. Those are all fire districts. All fire districts. There's like about 45, 50 in the state of Oregon that either are 1, 2, or 3 years behind. And the one that really sticks out to me is Jackson County 5. All 3 years they were required to do an audit. They hadn't done. And when you're 3 years behind, the state requires the county to start dissolution proceedings, which means you either got to get them done or they can dissolve your district. And
That's a big district.
well, it's a huge district.
Let's keep us
But
off that list.
they're already, I mean, they're already working with Fire District 3, and they're going to get themselves straightened out. I know that's not going to happen because they're probably working on audits right now. But it's just so. But most of them were rural fire protection districts that they just don't have the capabilities, the staff, and the funding. If we had to do this without the levy,
Oh.
it'd be a problem.
Well, please let us know if anybody on that list tries to headhunt you.
Yeah.
Because we'll go have a talk with them.
But no, so anyhow, I just thought this was interesting. I'll let you get. There's a lot of cities and towns in our area that are a little bit behind. It's crazy, but oh well. So, okay, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
And if you guys have more questions later on, if you look through that and you
Well,
get excited about something, please feel free to ask me.
I read it since you sent it to us, and I didn't find anything that screamed needs improvement. You must. You will. None of the referral or anything like. I didn't see any of the buzzwords that screamed we're in trouble. So
No, but
thank you. Good work.
We do need to revise our financial policies in the near future.
That seems to be a thing around town.
Yeah. So, but ours is we want to scale them down, not scale them up. I mean, we'll look and see, but and we want to make some things clear on. The other thing that he asked about was, oh, you got this contract. Did you make sure you got 3 bidders? What was the process like for the seismic? And I said, hey, we had a committee and we had like 4 or 5 bidders and we reviewed them and then we selected the best according to price and whether they could do the job, the qualifications. So
I'm sure whether they'd come up here and probably figure into that.
yeah, we had 3 qualified companies. So
Okay.
yeah, no, it was good. So those are some of the things we want to be careful that we just don't hand out contracts to people and watch for conflicts of interest. Make sure we get who's this and there's something going on.
Gotcha.
Now, last
And we
time
can
you
set
had to
limits for
sign
that.
something. I had to sign something. Remember? Did
Yeah.
anything like that this time?
No, there's nothing
Okay.
to sign.
Okay.
I mean, I had to sign something that I sent in to them. So that was good.
Are you done with this copy?
I would.
You like to keep that one?
Well, I'll give it to you. when
There's
I
2 of them. You
drink
guys
it.
can compare it.
Does anybody want this copy? Okay. Could we get this passed down to Kathleen to get entered into the record along with, so if there's that exists in our files?
Yeah, well, we have one for staff. So I gave it to Lyle the other day. So
Okay.
that one-
If this one could go into the minutes for this meeting, so we have a record that it actually came to the board, and then we can prove for big audit that this is coming down to us if we're not signing for something.
yeah, no, that's good.
Because then you can say, yep, there it is.
Oh yeah.
And it was read in.
So yeah, we'll be filing it. All the stuff that I got a binder about this thing, of all the stuff that we provided them to them. That's all going to stay together. We'll go in a file cabinet, so we keep those in order. So it'll be there. It makes it easier. I asked them to please give us a heads up of all the kind of things we might need, so we can do that as the year goes on instead of doing it the last month.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of cross-pollination of audits and certifications and stuff. So if it can go into a few
Right.
different spots,
Oh
if something happens,
yes,
i.e. a fire, a loss, an accidental shredding,
yeah,
I've seen it happen. That way we can go, oh, wait, we have a copy here too.
Yeah, well, we have most.
I'm a fan of that.
Electronically as well, so,
Good.
yeah, okay.
Great. Awesome.
I don't think there's anything else. That's it for the financial report and the audit.
Okay, that's great. We're not coming up with a plan of action to get right. That happens very rarely.
All you guys need to do now, I guess, is motion to accept.
A motion to approve the financial report and the results of the audit.
I'll second it.
Aye.
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 The ayes have it. Motion carried. Okay. Without any objections, moving on. We're skipping the item number 6. I'm going to briefly discuss number 7. The chief has more information on this, and we need to gather some more information. We have an opportunity near the Cascade Gorge that's down by the store and the park and the filling station to get a fill hydrant. There's an opportunity there to get a fill hydrant installed down there potentially off the Nye Ditch line, which is a 4-inch supply line going down in there. A 4-inch supply line would fill one of our tenders pretty darn quick. And the general gist of it is, if we can find the money in our budget to give people who own the Nye Ditch and get their approval, I don't know, I'm sure they would approve, because this is putting a hydrant right there in their backyard to help protect them better. But we need to speak with them, see if we can get money to them and get the extra materials to do the stub and the hydrant and the fill hydrant, and get it to a road that our tender can access, and so that we can have basically a hydrant that pulls off a 4-inch pipe off the Nye Ditch. And that would be an incredible asset. So we are pursuing that. And I'd like to, the one thing I'd like to put before the board is that we make a motion to pursue this. If necessary, we send some of our people to go talk to their board and find out what is needed and pursue this. So is this something that we want to do?
Will this go towards helping our ISO rating?
We suspect so, yes. Anything that shortens our turnaround time on our tenders, or that our fire truck could fill off of, or even, Lord forbid, we have something actually happen in the area of that hydrant. They just hook straight to it and go for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hydrant.
I assume it'll require some type of agreement between us and them.
Yes.
Because you got to have things in writing for things like this, for future problems or issues that come up. And we would always we'd have to have things in there like, okay, we're shutting the ditch down for 2 weeks because we're working on it or whatever. So those are all the kind of things that
maintenance agreement
considered. Yeah. And then as far as budget items, that would most likely could be a capital expense. And so I think that's something that the board we have money in our budget for capital. So as long as it's something that you guys would approve, we could probably most likely come out of there.
So there's 10 houses on that line.
Yeah.
You have to get agreements with all those 10 residents.
Okay.
And then it would be on private property. It wouldn't be on the roadway because you can't put a hydrant through the Nye Ditch, but you can put a gate valve. It's basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're working on.
So is Nye Ditch aware of this? Okay.
I brought it up at their board meeting.
Okay, so they have a heads up. All right. Cool.
And just said they couldn't run a pipe separate. But if you get agreements with everyone, put a gate valve in, not a hydrant, but a gate valve, for your truck. So I could technically put a gate valve on my property and fill a truck. There's nothing they can do about it. But they have a lobby. Right.
Okay. So is this something we want to pursue? I'd say we need a motion and a vote to move forward with this.
I think it's worth having the conversation with the NIDA board, but there's gonna have to be, they'll have to get all of those property owners buy-in. Otherwise, I could just see if we try to push it and force it without getting all their buy-in, we're gonna have
Oh, yeah.
community upset, so we need to.
Definitely get the buy-in.
We need to have 100% buy-in, not 90%. We need to have 100% buy-in because you just don't want one or two property owners getting upset over the situation.
Well, if it potentially would help their insurance
Right,
situation,
right.
then that would be an incentive to do it.
I think that we're gonna need some probably hardcore proof that that's real, because I think that we're gonna have to get some insurance agent involved or somehow to say that to them, right? Because I've talked to my insurance agent and they've told me there's nothing that's going to improve our score up here. So we need to get somebody to evaluate that potential situation and figure out if that's going to really impact our ISO rating or not.
It may even boil down to the individual insurance companies that service each of those homes and what their agents and what their companies say to them.
It's a big controversial issue, right? So we just got to make sure we get buy-in.
Okay.
We just don't want, plus we don't want to take water that they potentially need for their properties. So we just gotta being the advocate for the community at this point right now. I think it's a good idea, but we definitely need to get 100% buy-in. So we need to have
Good to know.
solid information to present to the NIDA board and then to send a letter out to all of the property owners that are on the ditch and explain to them the benefits. And we probably should have a pros and cons list put together of some kind. And we probably should get some information from insurance companies. If this happened, what are the possibilities of things looking better on insurance?
Hmm.
But we should probably got a little more digging research to do.
I've got a question. How often are those water tenders used?
Chris?
Anytime there's a structure fire in our district, there's going to be a water tender used, at least one. And the closer that is to the incident, the faster we're going to actually be able to put enough water on a fire to actually make a difference. None of our engines have enough water to handle anything that's burning, that's well involved by the time we get there. A little contents fire in one room, maybe we can put out with one of our engines, but pretty much everything else is going to need at least one tender load of water, if not more.
So about how often does that happen?
2 times a year-ish, we've been averaging.
So it's not like they're looking.
3 structure fires in the last 3 months.
But on average, over years, what we've been averaging is 1 to 2 structure fires a year
So it's not
in our
like they're
district.
taking all their water.
Yeah, it's not like we'd be constantly using that fill because the one that's at PPNL is a whole lot more convenient for just general fill, not in an emergent manner. If we're done with a scene and we're just filling up, the one at PPNL is so much more convenient than anything that's going to be off some driveway down there. This would be a house that's about to go to the ground down there, and we would really like to not spend an extra 5 or 10 minutes round tripping to the PPNL hydrant.
So would this be like a rapid fill?
I don't know how rapid it would be. It depends on how much pressure we've got on a 4-inch line. But it would definitely be a good option to have, even if we have one of our engines filling there, our tender going back to PPNL, and our one engine still fighting the fire. It would have some tactical and strategic benefit to have a hydrant down there or a fill point down there. But until without knowing what the pressure it would be in that line, and that would be depending on how many people are using water off that 4-inch line at the same time, et cetera, et cetera. But
that's more info for talking to
Yeah,
the property owners.
All that needs to be in there.
This isn't. They're not going to be down there, twice a week doing this.
Yep.
So
we also probably need to figure out so if we're responsible for the line itself, if it cracks and it has to be replaced or something like that, we're going to need to put all of that information in there too as well, because people aren't going to want to be responsible for anything.
So it's just doing a risk-benefit analysis.
Exactly.
And to be a recognized water source to actually change the ISO rating down there, it would have to be able to flow 250 gallons per minute for at least 2 hours. That is the threshold. if you can do that, then it's a recognized water source, and they can do their time estimates for response time with tenders and everything, and affect the ISO rating in that area. If it can't do 250 GPM for that long,
Then it's not.
then we can use it for actual use, but for the ISO rating calculation, it doesn't enter in unless it can flow that.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing to find out early on.
Mhm.
Not saying you wouldn't want to do it if it can't do 250 GPM, but it takes that part of the argument away. For sure.
Right.
That makes sense. Well, I motion we approve to move forward with, talking to the Night Ditch Board and just doing more research and making sure that we get all of the information out that we need to.
I'll second that.
Yes,
Aye.
Aye.
ayes have it. Motion carried. So we're going to start looking at it. Anything further on this subject? Okay, seismic retrofit report. As Mr. Jones just said, we've paid all our bills on that. Christy, do you have anything outstanding left over on that?
Nope, the building is technically back in our hands.
Okay, so
As soon as we got the final blessing from the grant and the state saying that the project's done, so we have been moving forward with making it more us.
awesome. Then I'm going to remove it I'll remove that as an ongoing. Okay. Item number 9, litigation lodged against our department over copyright infringement. I have an update from the chief, and it's basically our lawyers through the SDAO have sent a reply, and it is now in their lawyer's court, and we have not heard anything. And we're not calling in on that because we discovered that every time we call in and ask them what's going on, it costs us $128. Anybody who's dealt with lawyers knows how this goes. So we are in a holding pattern of wait and see. So this item number 9 will be remaining on our agenda, and we'll just keep checking back on that one until we get closure. Closure for this would be probably the other attorneys sending us a letter that they have removed themselves from attorney of record on that subject, and that they are no longer there. And so we are in a holding pattern on that one. And that's about all I can say on it, because that's all I have. Okay, let's get on to the fun part here. Item 10, items for consideration but not limited to on the year's calendar. So I was thinking, so for this calendar year, I was thinking for our first quarter, what is it that we as a board that we want to tackle and get working on?
Are those financial policies something the board does or something you do?
Glad to work with you guys.
Okay.
I probably do a lot of it for you.
Yeah, but that's something else that would need to be added.
And what do you think the timeline on those policies? When should we get those done? Is that a get it done when we can, or is that a get it done now so we're ready later?
Get it done when we can, but the earlier the better.
Earlier is better.
So
It's probably going to be in February. February, March, if need be. It probably only take 1 or 2 times. Like I can revise things and then let you guys look at them and see what you think.
So a couple of working meetings.
Yeah, it's a couple to most.
How would you all feel about front loading that particular item? Because that sounds like something we can get done and taken care of and move on from in February.
I think it sounds reasonable.
Okay.
Do you have those electronically?
Yeah, I think I do. I'm pretty sure I do.
We can take a look, because there's
Yeah.
gonna be probably a lot to
Yeah,
scratch out.
it's
the way we
it's
did with
included with
policy.
something else. I don't know if it's in book one or it's in book two, I think. So
Okay, so financial policy is scheduled for February working meetings. And you say 2, so what, 1 meeting, skip a week, you have your time to go
2
over it.
weeks. So, yeah.
You want to go back to back?
No.
But like 1 weekend we do the working meeting, skip a weekend, and then that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not very long away.
I just don't know.
Why don't, I mean, or we could just do one in February, one in March.
Yeah, we want to do that.
That way we're not.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Does that sound a little too ambitious?
Either way. Depends on what people's calendars look like. Impossible.
Like meeting, no meeting.
So just so I know, the next board meetings, is that going to be on February 20th?
Yes. The
Hold on.
20th or 27th.
I have it down here on the 20th.
Yeah.
That's the date I
Normally it's
reserved.
supposed to be the third week.
Right.
This was a weird one.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the third week.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I kept this one where it was at, or I put this one particularly where it was at, so I would not be moving the meeting up on us.
Yeah.
But February, yes, the 20th is also in the third week, and that's what I have this room reserved for.
And are we going to do the Friday also in March?
In March, yes, it'll be the same thing.
Yeah, the
20th.
Okay. All right, perfect.
So, so about the 14th, but that's gone.
No, I can't do the 14th.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna be singing Valentine's all day.
So you guys want to do it on weekends? Is that what you want to do? I mean, I don't care what.
We've done Sunday afternoons before, and that seems to work.
That works.
If that works for everybody.
We could do the, I'm available
Well, that,
on the
except that I
8th.
leave town on Sunday afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right.
I'm not sure. Oh, you're out of town on Sunday?
I leave Sunday afternoon and come home Thursday evening.
Okay. Well, we could do a Saturday if that works for. Or a different evening.
I'm good at
21st, 28th?
February?
Yeah.
I can do either.
I mean, the 21st would be right after the board meeting.
Uh-huh.
So
Mhm.
what does that
Would
matter?
be too bad idea. Be a good idea.
24th.
21st.
21st.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, I could make that work.
I can do it after 10 a.m. Before that I
So,
commitment.
where do you want to have it? You're welcome to have it at my place if you want, or.
That has been working out great. If you'll still have us.
Oh, yeah. No problem.
All right. So what was that day again?
The 21st.
21st.
February.
So it'll be our first working meeting for the financial policy.
And you said 10 a.m.?
Yeah.
Does that work for you?
That work for
Are you
everybody?
good? Are you what time?
This is
Okay
10
for me.
10 a.m.
Yeah,
That work?
for brunch.
I will bring brunch food.
You two get on it.
Well, I've got a whole cook.
Idea.
Yes, anyone wants to come to the workshop and give your input, we get on the food thing pretty hard. So yes, you will be rewarded for your input if you come. Yeah, bring a good idea for a financial policy, and you can grab a plate. Okay,
Wow, cool.
so there's that one, and let's hold off on the next one until we see how far we get on that one.
Maybe you're all done with it in one time.
Well, if go dig around out there and find one that works for us.
Well, I'm going to use the one that we have, and then
Oh,
I plan to dig around as well.
Okay.
And then,
See what else somebody.
what's our deadline for the chief evaluation?
I lost that file. So I have to go look in I have to go dig in the policies again. The chief evaluation is coming up, and I do have a rough draft at home on the computer started. And I want to, was that June that we wanted to deliver that product to
I have
him?
it somewhere. Where I have it, I have no idea.
I cleaned out my,
Let's find it.
I didn't bring it all.
maybe I have an extra.
Now that we're back in the station, we've got everything open.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
so
you
we
can-
can- yeah, so we can print, I can print up the policy books for you guys if you're.
put in the binder.
Oh, that's right. I can go on. This policy's been put in.
Yeah, we've got our
we-
policy.
I can just go to the website and look it up online.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I'm-
online now.
I caught a case of the dumb today. I'm sorry.
Everything, I'm doing that, we do, just replaces all the other stuff. Yes.
Okay. So, oh, do you have it?
Okay.
I have it right. The draft is approved, the final, so. Oh, look, keep going.
Okay.
I'll find it.
So the chief's evaluation needs to be done in the first quarter of this calendar year, and I'm working up the draft on that. I've been tracking his chief's reports, and I've been tracking the items that I've been seeing him do in the community, and I'm bringing all that together. And what I'd like to do is bring that to a working meeting, and for everybody to take a look at and add and edit. And we put together a product together, and then we schedule where it says we need to do this, we schedule an executive session, and I'll deliver that product to him.
Yeah, it was a draft.
Okay, I'll look it up, and I will put out a better schedule of when I'll have that product ready for you. I'm thinking that would be a March. Definitely it needs to be, we need to work on it probably by April,
Mhm.
if I remember correctly.
And that is coming to memory as
That's
well.
okay.
It was early in the year we had
Okay.
decided to have it done.
I wanted to say we wanted to have it done in June before the July kicked off fire season. So we're not doing an evaluation on our chief right in the middle of when he's trying to save us. So I will make a note for myself to do a timeline and get going on that. And I'll get that product to you and let you know where I'm at with it. Okay, the last two items on here, I don't know if we're going to be getting into those at the beginning of this calendar year, the repair on the hydrant system and the expansion of the system. That's going to take a lot of research.
Yeah.
I don't even know I know there's a pump stuck in a tower over there in Mill Creek, and with a lot of copper wires showing. So I have no idea what it is we're going to need to do, and I've heard rumor that the line coming from there across some private property over here is busted.
It is, and when back when the hotel was operating before it shut down, the owners who are no longer the owners gave us permission to do whatever we had to do to fix that. But I'm sure that's not binding now that somebody else.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to do an entire. If we do use that system, we're gonna have to do an entire agreement, just like Niditch. It's gonna have to be an entire agreement with maintenance agreements and permissions and
Easement and all of that.
yeah.
I think that when it comes to these long-term, these bigger projects, we really need to focus on, like we talked about in one of our working sessions, how we're setting the goals and we're putting the goals specific to what's achievable. So if we have 1-year goals, we have those ones we have laid out. So the hydrant system is a must-have, but it needs to be, yeah, it's going to be we need to put it in like a 5-year plan or something of that nature so that we actually can work on things a little bit at a time and still achieve
That's appropriate.
or it might be such a huge cause that we might need to get a infrastructure grant
Right.
and
Mhm.
something similar to the seismic upgrade and get an entire company in here to just restart it all from scratch.
Yeah.
Because what we have sounds like it's going to be pretty monumental to repair, and we're going to have to deal with other entities. So so that can temporarily probably is kicked down the road for now, but we need to keep addressing it and looking at it.
Mike, did Lyle say anything about progress on the employee handbook?
Not yet. That was one of my questions for him for tonight, was to ask him where he's at with that, and also where we're at with our district map rework.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask him about. Oh yeah, we got.
So after went through and got all the parcels laid out and exactly who pays for what, I sent it to Jackson County, the gentleman I've been dealing with down there, and he looked at it and he goes, "You're not eliminating anything and you're not adding anything." And I said, "Yeah, that's what I've been trying to explain to you. We are eliminating ODF and Forest Service property out of our map. They do not pay us a dime for going and working fire on their property." And he goes, "Okay, so it doesn't need to go to ODR or the Department of Revenue. So we do not have to send it to our Department of Revenue." So now I need to ask Lyle who his contact is at ECSO and contact that ECSO person and figure out what are the steps to present them with a new laid out map of the areas that we are responding to. So it became from a very bigger project down to a very small project. So we
Nice.
continue to work. So
Well, good to hear.
Great.
That sounds like we're going to have that fixed in first
Right.
quarter of this year, maybe.
yes, yeah, my goal, well, for ODR, I had to have it done and submitted to them by the end of March. So I was kind of trying to get through that as fast as I could until I actually showed them. I said, we're not adding, we're not removing taxpayers, period. We're just cleaning the map up to actually show who we're responding to. The original map didn't even go up to Eagle Basin. They didn't go up to 62 or 64 road. It didn't even go up there. They didn't show the private property that is actually, that person does pay taxes to us. But the call out map that UCSO uses in Jackson County has, doesn't show that. So the new map will show that. It will show the outlying areas on Lewis Road. It's going to show all the outlying areas on the edge of Red Blanket. It'll show Laurel First property, and then the two residents just north of the old scales. That's not good for service. So the map will actually show those and actually have a line drawn around those properties saying this is who we are responding to.
Will they show them as islands or will they?
They're considered islands, yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And do you have to do any meets and bounds descriptions or is it just?
That's what, for the county, if it went to ODR, it would have to show township range.
Okay.
But now since it doesn't have to go to ODR, I gotta figure out exactly how ECSO wants it. So,
Interesting.
which could be a different coordinate system.
And even if our map doesn't show those properties up there in Ginkgo Basin and everything, I know ECSO, what they're using for real, for dispatching purposes, we're in there because we've had to go up there before. We've also all the way to the county line. We're the closest agency, so we ended
Right.
up having to go there. But it'd be, so
Good to clean it up.
yeah, it's very good to clean it up. It's just kind of weird because we also don't go to Peyton Bridge. Like you would think we would, but because we have Laurelhurst, but we don't. Like there's a line, so District 4 covers and responds to anything on Peyton Bridge all the way down to Laurelhurst. But if it's on Laurelhurst Road, we respond to it. It's kind of
What?
Yeah, so yeah, our district ends at Peyton Bridge, Lewis Road.
Oh,
We're responsible for Lewis Road, but we are not responsible for Peyton Bridge, Stewart, any of those. So, but we're responsible for because the houses on those, are on Laura First do pay taxes to our fire department.
They pay to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And why is Fire District 4?
No, but that's the thing. We cover those houses, but if they have a wreck like at the bottom of their driveway, they're waiting for Shady Cove to come up there, or somebody wipes out on the bridge.
Or not. So
Oh my God.
So
the
Laurelhurst.
map that ECO has does not show Ginkgo. So
Yeah.
we are cleaning that up. So, because I do know that for a fact.
Well, that's good.
I really doubt, I mean, I don't think they even look at a map. They say, oh, that's Prospect area.
Yeah.
Because we've been to Diamond Lake.
They might also look at it and go, okay, everybody else is called, so
Yeah, and this agency is closest, and it just makes sense. But
Well,
yeah.
that's their choice, but our map needs to be specific to the taxpayers.
Right.
Yeah.
But what ECS does, that's ECS.
well, I think it's important to respond to those areas because otherwise, like if one of our taxpayers flips their rig up there just above Union Creek, they probably don't want to wait for Medford to send a truck up or whoever they decide is willing to take the call if we don't do it.
Oh.
But,
Yeah, but on the other side of that, this brings up the thing of we're responding to things outside of our district. We're not getting paid for that.
Right.
And it is an expense. And it does cost money.
Mhm.
And it also, well, I don't know about liability issues. I suppose that all stays the same. But when we're responding to stuff outside of our district, unless it's a, what do you call that, where you guys have an agreement for
Mutual aid.
Yeah, mutual aid agreement. So it's one of those things that we might want to think. I don't even know if we really want to go there. But if we're going to respond outside our district, then we should probably have some kind of rate structure for that because somebody should get billed for that. But then that creates a lot of extra work.
yes.
So, but it's an extra expense. So something just to think about as you go through that process.
Okay.
And then on the employee handbook, I did receive the latest and greatest draft from SDAO. And I went through it and limited stuff that, because the handbook is more geared towards employees, paid staff. And so going through it and trying to figure out what is going to be important to us. So I think I read it like 3 or 4 times. Sent it to Cal.
I haven't read it yet.
She's got it now, so she's gonna go through it and refine what, because I had a lot of questions because I wasn't sure, do we want to keep this? Do we not want to keep it? What do we want to do? And then so she's gonna go through it and refine it some more, and then when we get something that we're ready to send to Lyle.
So the employee handbook is in progress.
It's in progress, yes. And once we feel we can give it to him, we will sit down with him and go through it page by page with lots of coffee. And I mean lots of coffee. And try to get a final on it. So
Okay.
And I did give Lyle a volunteer handbook that I don't even know where it came from. I just happened to have a copy of it.
right.
Did he give that to you?
No, he kept it, he wanted the latest from SDAO.
Yeah, well, I think that's where that came from. But it's a volunteer handbook and for fire departments. So
Right.
it might have some stuff in there that covers those kind of things when they're not paid payroll type employees.
I think I might have a copy of that hanging around somewhere. I'll look for it. Just do some comparing.
Good. Nice. Okay, start process for a new station. So when was the last time we built a station in this town? 92?
I think that's when Station 2 got built, I think, right? Something like that, 92.
Oh, that's a really new station then, huh?
So we have some experience with this then.
Not this magnitude.
Not at this magnitude.
I know
Not a real station, not a 2-car garage with a.
right, yeah, but still a lot of the processes we have to go through them. So I was wondering if we could dig a copy of that out and just so we can have a look at what that process looked like back then.
Yeah.
He's given into the records more than anybody else.
I don't remember seeing anything for that.
Oh gosh.
Not saying there isn't something, but I went through.
Both of those were built by the Lions, I'm pretty sure, who did all the labor, and I'm not sure how many permits were pulled or not pulled. I'm not sure how much.
Okay. Because the new one that we're thinking about is much bigger and badder and
That's gonna.
has a lot more capability. Oh, it's gonna, yeah, we're gonna have architects and engineers, and we're gonna have we're gonna have hazmat people and surveyors and
Take that on, and I have to sit down a while, figure out what our wants and our needs are. That way I can go to a gentleman that works at Outlier that knows somebody that has done this and done it several times, and to help us step through, figure out what we need for a grant, figure out exactly what our steps are going to be.
and
So-
SDAO has an entire block of classes that we already have voted on and gotten you approved to.
I have yet to find those classes on their website.
Who's our SDA?
Roy Emery is our man.
Okay, can we get that that information?
Yeah, I'll give you his phone number.
Okay, thank you.
Because they have, when I was there at that training, they have an entire classes that talk over. They actually said building a new station, and I was like, yes. And so there's a class on that offered by SDAO. It costs some money, and it covers the insurance aspect of it, the lawyers, and going through the process.
Right.
And so, and since they're going to be the ones insuring it, we want to build something that they are going to insure from the get-go. And we want all the goodies. We want the fill tank. We want the intermodal haul-awayable and repairable fuel farm. We want the classrooms. We want the
pull through bays.
At
least 5.
We want the training rooms. We want the room that we can all get into and have a nice meeting like this in, that has multimedia, and we want internet throughout and all the other things that I've completely forgotten about.
Handicap accessible.
New building code.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And then are you going to say, but what we can really afford is this?
Well,
You know, you really afford a single wide trailer.
Lions to come up with something.
Yeah.
shoot for the moon, make do with what we get.
Yeah.
I mean, if you sell yourself short on the initial ask, then you're gonna get sold short on the initial ask. But there's money out there. I know of some buildings that have been built in the state of Oregon that see less use than we do on a building that got financed for a whole lot more money. And there's got to be a way we can get our hands on that money. And if we just got to, and maybe we talk to some of our other chiefs out there, and maybe we talk to some of the people who built those other buildings that see less use but cost more. Maybe we talk to those people and we get that money. But yeah, if we say, yeah, hey, we're Prospect, we get a double wide, well, then they're going to throw a double wide out there for us. But if we say, hey, we are an up and coming community that is building, and we are on the front lines of keeping this whole area from burning down, give us a facility that'll support that. And by the way, we have more volunteers coming in than we should do that. We should sell that. We should sell that thing. I want that whole thing over there, every square foot of it. I want that thing. I don't want flower beds. I want a fire department with all the fixings, including the gravy. So yeah, that's my personal intent for this. So I know it's on here, and I know it's down the road, but we got to start now. We got to get going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to.
Yeah, but can we wait that long before we? I mean, we we want to start on that. We want to start getting the classes and talking to people.
Yeah, we're about 9 years.
And
what's the-
planning fundraisers, because if you're gonna go for something like matching funds grant,
Mhm.
then we gotta start building up a wardrobe
Mhm.
for that.
So the thought is that if you really want to do this, you need to, set a goal and set establish a building fund by resolution, and that then you would want to have a capital campaign that you'll start raising funds from the local community in the meantime to use for matching grants or to do some pre-work, whatever you need to do. I'm sure you might be surprised that some money will come out of this community for a capital campaign. And as we put that in our accounts and are earning interest on that, that helps to build that a little bit more while we're going through the process. But what you would need is a nice, clear plan of what you expect to do with a timeline, what you're looking to raise, and what you think it might cost in the end. And that'll take some work from some engineers and people.
Architect.
And give some ballpark numbers. I mean, they can give numbers pretty quickly because they know what it takes to build something. So they know. And then you know where you're at. And I think that would make a lot of sense. And then you would decide, do I want to take some of our capital money that we have in our budget, and do we want to contribute some of that to that fund each year or not? Or maybe that's going to go to the hydrant fund or something else, or new equipment, new vehicles, whatever. So you do have a fair amount of money that's available for capital to build, to start building a fund. So those are just some things for you guys to think about as far as laying out a plan.
Yeah.
I'd like to say that maybe we make a line item on our agenda. We just put the new station project on there, and we just address it, and we talk it over at each of our meetings so that it stays fresh in our minds. And in our in between times, we start doing that research. And I'd like to pick your brain a little more about that and find out more. I was never in the gather the money phase. I was in the supervise and execution phase. So I need to get smart on
There's other
that.
people in the community that have a lot better ideas than I do, but these are some.
Well, maybe we should have a working session and invite them for some delicious food. Everybody likes food.
Even if we just lay out a couple pages of showing steps and what we want, what you guys want to accomplish and when.
I think it comes back to the goals, right? So I think we need to establish a document of board goals and timelines of when we want to achieve those goals. And then every year we evaluate, when we do our budget analysis, we can budget a percentage towards those goals. And we could decide, like Bob said, if we want to move money and, do something else with it, whatever. But I think we need to still sit down and put together the 1 year, 5 year, 10-year goals on paper and hand those out to everybody. And so everyone knows, so everyone's on the same page. So when we start asking for money and we start asking for the support, we're saying if your personal endeavors align with our goals, please help us and bring people in to help us.
What do you think about our February 21st working meeting? What do you think about front loading that working up that goals document to the front of that?
Well, I think we should work on the financial policy first.
Yeah,
I think that needs to be done. So I think maybe we should move the goals meeting to like March if we want to do that.
And you guys you already do have.
We did one.
You've already,
Just need to
update it and put the 1 5 year.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
And that way you can prioritize what are the most important.
Because we have one that we did last year. We just need to keep updating it every time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
in our yearly, we kind of made it temporary yearly, and then just.
Yeah, I have it is in my binder here somewhere.
I had it with me too somewhere, but I'll show it.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
This is the goals document that we were working on,
Yeah.
but we looks like we need to expand it. And
So maybe like in April or so, or May, do this yearly, just do our policy. Our goals, I mean, in either April or May, just make it happen.
Yeah, I do have that someplace.
I do too, I saw it just today.
Yeah, I was looking at that and I was like, who has this document? Okay, and I saw on there March for the chief's evaluation.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, there's no reason why we can't. I mean, we'll take some potential thing, but we could also look around something else at the same time. Don't
okay,
necessarily have to be limited.
definitely. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up for our calendar for this year? Or have we bitten off enough to chew on for
We got
a while?
plenty to chew on.
We're going brains up.
Okay, I agree. Yes.
I was just curious where we stand on fixing that one water tender.
I am picking up a piece of equipment that's helped me a lot with that this week, and I did go through the pump that I'm going to put on it, and it's looking like it's healthy, so we are moving forward on it.
Progress. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need something to lift the big heavy tools off here, but the pump is supposed to lift, so I have access and I can actually measure and weld up the support and everything, and not work under the truck and in the mud. And I am picking up a forklift from my job that they don't need anymore.
Oh, is that what you wanted, the propane tank?
Yeah.
Did you get that from Ralph?
I have one like that. I was looking for a different one.
Okay.
But I appreciate it. Yeah.
Oh.
So then I can easily and safely pick that whole toolbox off and set it down, and then I can also hang the pump off the strap off of said forklift while I figure out the plumbing for it instead of holding it in space and trying to.
Shane, please.
Shane. Yes.
Thank you. We don't want nothing happening to you, man.
No, but especially if somebody's going to be under it, definitely chain.
Shane, I have some if you want it. You good?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Just curious, hon.
Moving on. I think we've discussed our next 2 to 3 working sessions, and we just need to schedule for February, March, and April, March and April.
Well, we said we're gonna see how far we get.
Right.
With this.
Right. So they'll be scheduled in the future. And I'd like to open it up to public comment. I'd like to ask everyone to please limit their comment to 3 minutes per speaker. And floor is yours, everyone.
Where would the gorge hydrant be?
We don't know yet. That would totally depend on the property owner and what is available. So, sorry about that. Anything else? Is there anyone online who'd like to ask a question?
Joined us today. It's possible that we had a problem with the link for the meeting on the website that made it harder for people to find us. But we've been streaming this whole time. But if somebody didn't already have the link, they might not have been able to find us this week.
Okay. Well, let's.
For the good of the order, we did finally get a hose washer working that works a whole lot better than just having to lay the hose out flat on the apron and wash it.
Well, that's good.
And we tested it. Unfortunately, I think we interrupted Spencer's EMR class a little bit over there, but
I'll let you two sort that out.
I would say that we were able to process hose at least 3 or 4 times faster than doing it by washing it on the ground, and it got a lot cleaner because you didn't have to drag that hose from the apron all the way over to the hose tower.
Nice.
So, and we have a few ideas to improve it, but that'll help with the cleanliness of the station because unfortunately with volunteer time and everything after an incident, it's been hard to find the time to spend, 4 hours washing hose right after you get done.
I know. After all the fun's done, nobody wants to stick around and clean up.
I saw a bumper sticker that said, everybody's a hero until it's time to clean the truck.
Yes. Yes. We had a similar axiom in search and rescue.
What was a copyright infringement?
We cannot actually speak on the exact details of that because it's an ongoing legal matter. But we had somebody. What I can say is a picture got loose in the wild, and somebody took exception to it, took it to a lawyer, and we were served with papers. And we engaged our lawyers with the SDAO, and they have responded to that. And now we are waiting for their response. So, and I can't give you any further information until it's adjudicated. Anything else? Okay. Anyone else?
Well, before you adjourn, I just want to say everybody understands my work schedule now. So I appreciate you giving up your Friday evenings instead of Monday evenings to make it work for my schedule.
No problem. Well, we value having you here.
I appreciate that. Otherwise, I would be missing at least 5 months worth of meetings.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to turn in the key to the playroom over there that we were using for meetings. And I think we'll, I don't know what that is. And I think we'll keep going with here unless anybody has any major objections. Okay.
Unless we start pulling a big crowd.
That's
the biggest one we've had in a while.
Well, that's a good problem to have. I like input. And yeah,
You were looking for a motion to adjourn?
I am.
I move.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned at 8:20. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Really appreciate. We appreciate the input, and it's great having you here. I mean, especially getting some of. I mean, shoot, answered most of our questions.